I have a number of two quotes that are on the bottom of right here, and I like to talk a little bit about them and why I put them in there. The first one is performance is the only measure of success. I think that goes back to my idea of stimulus response, and my whole concept of training effectiveness is the change in behavior, which I would also classify as a change in your thinking based on more knowledge, so that generates behavior. And that those organizations that do not want to evaluate their teaching, training, whatever, on the changed behavior and changed performance are really not trainers. They may be making lots of money, but they're not trainers. And I got fired from the higher colleges of technology for one of the first questions I asked, and that was, how do we evaluate the effectiveness of the college? Do we research or follow our graduates? Do we find out if they're working or not? And what was their choice? Was their choice not to work, and that's fine? Or was their choice to work, but they couldn't find a job? How did they do? What kind of job did they find? Did it challenge them? That sort of thing. What was the best thing they learned from the higher colleges of technology? What was going to help them in their life, whether it be personal or professional, present or future? And I think that's a valid thing to do. My programs, when I had my company Catalyst, of over 2 days, I would come back in 3 months' time after the contiguous days. And it was, I guess you call it follow-up, but it was part of the program. So people couldn't say, okay, do I get a discount if I don't do this final day? And I said, no, it's the final day. That's part of the program. So build it into your training, your scheduling process. My belief was that, well, a couple of things. One is, when someone takes a program, no matter how good I might be or the ideas, they're going to pick out some ideas that are related to their needs at the time. And it may be some very profound ideas, but which gives them a basic skills and knowledge to attempt to make things different on the job or home. But they're not all the ideas. And so when someone comes back in 3 months' time, or the group comes back, and we start out with what worked, what do you remember, what didn't work, and what would you like to do from now? We put them into groups, we do the flip chart mind mapping thing, and then come back and talk about it. And it's always interesting to see the things that did work that surprised people. It's always challenging from my perspective to hear about things that didn't work. And then the challenge is, where do we go from here? The only way I can measure my success is by that meeting. Did they change? Did the things work? Are they open to that shoreline of wonder? Do they want to learn more? And that's how I measure my success. It puts the onus on me or the organization to take responsibility and to be held accountable for the activities, the training, the teaching that they do. It seems to me like a completely logical thing, but it's very rare that organizations make a serious commitment to that. Those that do are, interesting enough, not necessarily the most successful. If you don't evaluate, you don't get bad evaluations. If you do evaluate, you run the risk of getting bad evaluations. So many organizations and individuals choose not to ask. I'll teach you. If you don't get it, it's not my fault. But I'm 180 degrees different from that. Performance, my performance. Your performance is the only measure of my success. So much more I could talk about there, but that's enough for now.